What's going on, Sports Wars? We have breaking news. Antonio Brown officially gone from the New England Patriots. I am pulling information up as we speak right now. I am only operating off of the notification I got on my phone. Patriot statement is that the New England Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of many people over the past 11 days, but we feel that it's best to move in a different direction at this time. So there you go. Officially gone from the New England Patriots. There's been a lot of different news that's been popping up, a lot of text messages, a lot of threatening things that a lot of people have been reporting. So yeah, this is big news right here. What's up, man?
Big news! Holy cow!
Yeah. Jeez, yeah. Wow.
Not surprising. What was surprising was that they took the risk. We talked about this a couple weeks ago when we were live, and the fact that the Patriots would go ahead and take the risk on this guy with all the stuff that was going on in Oakland, I was shocked. That's not the Patriot way. They'll take risks on guys, but not when they know they're like that. So obviously they had this all written in the contract where they're going to come off scot-free. I would have to assume.
Yep.
So
it's just this guy, man. This guy is he's just out of touch, man. He really is. I mean, there's so many problems right now. I'm trying to put this on Twitter right now.
Okay, gotcha.
Antonio Brown. Patriots. Boom. And let me get one more because my team is going to scream at me if I don't share it in our little chat thread on Twitter. They're like, well, you didn't tell us. So, all right, there it is. And boom. Okay, now. Yes, so Antonio, if you're just joining us, I'm here with Ryan. Antonio Brown officially released by the New England Patriots. While it's shocking news, it's not surprising news. You know what I mean? Like, they brought him on. He and Brady were on the first drive, 3 passes, and I was like, holy shit. They're setting a statement, they're like, holy crap. And it's clear that whatever the New England Patriots found out, it's pretty bad at this point. You know what I mean? So what's going on with these? So there's a lot of stuff going on with text messages, threatening text messages that's been released. Have you seen anything like that?
I haven't seen it. I've just heard about it. So basically this second accuser or whoever who went and talked to the NFL started getting supposedly threatening messages with her kids' pictures in them from AB or a representative of Antonio Brown. And the lawyer basically came to the NFL and said, hey, this is ridiculous. Like, we're getting these threatening messages, blah, blah, blah. So maybe that was the final straw. I'm not sure. When you get into that kind of thing, because right now with the first woman that came forward, it's all in the civil litigation period. Mm-hmm. She filed this lawsuit 9 months ago, or started the process 9 months ago, stayed out of the criminal proceedings. So that's what made a lot of us kind of say, all right, well, let's sit back and see, right? Because you kind of get the feeling that, well, she didn't report it to the police. She's just trying to get money. So who knows what the real story is. Now we've got another person coming forward. And if you start sending threatening messages like that, you're talking about looking to get restraining orders and things. That's getting in the criminal procedure, which the NFL has then full rights to put him on the commissioner's exempt list, which then he can't play.
What a disaster, man. I mean, and I have hated Antonio Brown since before the media actually was turning on him. I mean, I hated him before even the Facebook Live situation. I just always viewed him because I remember we used to argue in our Facebook group where I was always like, this guy, he's talented. He's probably the most talented receiver in the league, but I would not take him because of his ego. He is a detriment to any team he is on. I always said, because we used to argue over Julio versus Antonio Brown, and I'm like, I will take Julio at 75% over Antonio Brown at 100% because Julio is a professional. Julio doesn't bring drama. He's not a diva. And it's just gotten substantially worse since then. Mirror Jeremy, it's a good comment. AB's career is done. Do you think his career is done, Ryan? I mean, it's hard to say because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to come out.
It's tough for me to see a way forward for him right now, with the way he's been acting and everything. It's funny because over the offseason, I had a conversation with somebody. They were talking about Antonio Brown. They were telling me he was a Hall of Famer, even if he never played another game, and because of his numbers. And I told him I just think that that's insane with the era we're in and the numbers that everyone's going to be putting up. So we had this theoretical discussion about if Antonio Brown never played another snap in the NFL. Well, he played one game's worth of snaps. But, a talent like that, it's tough to imagine that no one will ever give him a shot again. But what a complete implosion it has been for him over the course of a year.
Yeah, I mean, usually when you kind of when you mess up in New England, when you're kind of at that controversial state in your career, that's kind of the end of the road. I mean, you look at and not that Tebow was a controversial guy, but it was just like that was like the last run for him. Did Albert Haynesworth play anywhere else after his New England deal?
I don't believe so. But he may have just faded in irrelevancy somewhere. But I don't believe so.
And then we had Ocho Cinco. Did he play anywhere after the fact? After New England?
Canada maybe or something.
Yeah. And then Randy Moss obviously played, but his career was bad. So once New England is done with you, there's a reason New England is done with you. They don't get rid of guys that still have something in the tank, or they don't get rid of guys that have insane potential, but they can't get their head right. I mean, it's like with Josh Gordon. I mean, it's obvious that Josh Gordon is trying to turn his life around. He may not be actually turning it around, but it's obvious that the guy has his head and heart in the right place.
That dude has that guy has an addiction. It's pretty clear that he has an addiction, but as far as his behavior, he's been okay. The problem is in that NFL, once you get in that drug policy, you can't even like drink or anything. So it's kind of insane, but hopefully they can keep on the straight and narrow, because now it looks like they're going to need him. After 11 days of the Antonio Brown era. So
11 days, and very like that first game, I was looking at it, I said, holy shit, if they keep Antonio Brown, this is going to be, and it's still, I mean, honestly, I heard some analysts say that they think Antonio Brown might actually be detrimental to the team, just in terms of the structure and everything, because of how they were going to put a lot of emphasis on Brady to Antonio Brown, which I can see that point, because it's kind of, I've never seen New England put that much emphasis on a new player in the first quarter. He was targeted 4 times on the first drive.
I think that they were really trying to send a message that, hey, we brought him in, we believe in him, we're gonna show you what he can do. And I also think they weren't quite sure what was going to happen, if he was going to be on the exempt list or not, and this might be the only chance they get to use him. So it was clear that they wanted to send a message in that game, and they did. And now they're sending a different message.
And if you're just joining us, we are talking about the Patriots releasing Antonio Brown. Here is the statement. This is Adam Schefter on Twitter. Patriot statement: the New England Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of many people over the past 11 days, but we feel that it's best to move in a different direction at this time. So there you go. That's the statement from the Patriots. There's obviously a lot more than what we're hearing publicly, and we've kind of talked a little bit about what a lot of that text messages that are coming out, and a lot of this stuff. It's a messy situation, and I think we've only hit the tip of it right now. We got a couple super chats. Brandon Hicks. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate that. $2 super chat. Mega Mister, thank you for the super chat. Looks like Pats are done. I hope Chicago can be next, and my Chicago fans can hate on me. Heyo. You got one right here on the panel.
Speaking of, I believe last time I was on a Sports Wars live stream, I made a prediction about the opening game, the NFL, Bears, Packers.
You were wrong, right? And I was right.
Well, I wouldn't say you were right. You said, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to, come in. He's going to dominate the game at the end. He's going to decide at the end. And Aaron Rodgers looked like garbage against that Bears defense, but the Bears offense looked about as bad as anything
Yeah.
Like imaginable. So I am humbly saying now to the Sports Wars crew that I was wrong. My Bears got rocked. They got rolled by the Green Bay Packers. But we'll get them back. We will get them back.
Yep.
Matt Nagy needs to figure something out. Mitch Trubisky needs to figure something out. But I believe in Chicago, and we'll get them next time. So I was wrong, but I had to say that.
All right. So real quick, if you're just joining us, Antonio Brown has been released by the New England Patriots. This is breaking news. You are joined by Jeremy and Ryan from Sports Wars and geeksandgamers.com. Brandon Hicks says AB may go to Washington or Tennessee or the Giants. Right now, I don't think anybody's going to touch him. I don't think any.
This to me tells me that he's about to be put on the exempt list, and he's not going to be able to. That's what I think is going to happen in the next several hours.
Yeah. And let me see here. Rhinos. I don't know how to say his name. Rhinos. How do I say that? Rhinos.
Rhinosith.
Rhinosith. Is that it? Rhinosith. Okay. Rhinosith. Like Sith. Okay, my bad. I can't. Obviously, I can't spell if you saw my upload earlier. Now, Rhinosith, you're a Dolphins fan coming in here and saying anything to me? Really?
They got to score some points, even if it's internet points.
Really?
So they got to try.
Really? Like, I mean, you know what? I respect the fact that you have the audacity to kind of talk shit to me being a Dolphin fan.
You got to respect it. You got to respect it.
Yeah, I actually absolutely do. But yeah, so yeah, man, this whole thing, like, I think we do not see Antonio Brown again this year. I do not. I don't think you're going to see him again this year. I think there's a lot. There's going to be a lot that's coming out. I mean, all right, so we have over 100 people watching now. So let's do a quick recap of the text message situation. Can you recap that for everybody?
Yeah. So what I know, we should probably pull it up and get a little more exact detail.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, you can go do that while I talk. So from what I'm hearing, we had a second accuser come forward of allegations against Antonio Brown that went and talked to the league. After that happened, the lawyer for that person is claiming that they got threatening text messages from Antonio Brown, including the faces of her children on there and things like that, to try to intimidate her. Whether that's true or not, we have no idea. I can't tell you. But
I got it pulled up now.
There you go.
So right here, this is from Robert Klemko. And it says, well, let me read what he says first. He says, new tonight, Antonio Brown sent our source from Monday's story menacing group text, including a picture of her children with instructions for her associates to investigate her, or his associates to investigate her. Her lawyer wrote the NFL calling for the intimidation to stop. That is serious right there. This is next level serious shit. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's no joke. This is the part where it gets, like I said, where you start looking into criminal stuff if you're trying to shut someone up like this.
This is fucked up. Really sad you would make up a BS story to the world. Thought you had more integrity and respect for yourself. Must be really hard times for you. Make up some stuff for money. Super sad. This is the girl who unfinished my painting in my room from blank super broke girl with a lot of kids. Such a shame. This is her ex. This her in text. Eric B. Let's look up her background history. See how broke this girl is from. Basically cried broke for opportunities. I let her paint my room. Couldn't finish. I flew out now to here. So this is sad. And it's just like it's so fucking. It sounds just like Antonio Brown talking.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful when you're reading these. You never know what might come out. You don't want to John Campia. So
yes. So yeah, man. This is next. Like I think right now, I think this is what the Patriots looked at. I think the Patriots looked at this situation and they were like, "Holy shit, we don't need another Aaron Hernandez on our case right now. This is bad. This is criminal behavior." God, man, what a nut job this guy is.
Yeah, just play, man. Just like what John Gruden said on that leaked. Well, I guess it technically wasn't leaked because we did get clarification that John Gruden gave his permission to be recorded on, that commercial essentially that AB released, where John Gruden says, "Can we just play some GD football? Like, can we just stop with all this nonsense and play football?" And the answer is clearly no, unfortunately.
Wow. And I mean, I don't recall a more crazy, dramatic filled story with a star player like to this level. You know what I mean? You go from one of the most celebrated organizations in the history of the NFL, the Steelers, and it seems like Mike Tomlin is looking better every day. I got to say, Mike Tomlin's looking like he held this thing together in an incredible way. And I'm not a big Mike Tomlin fan, but it seems like Mike Tomlin was holding this together in a pretty big way. Then we have the whole off-season drama going to the Raiders, the drama with the Raiders, the helmet, the feet, all this nonsense. Big Ben, all this stuff with Big Ben, and now the getting released from the Raiders, signing with the Patriots, and now all of this. This is crazy. You know what I mean? This makes T.O. look like a Boy Scout.
This whole offseason has been crazy. Like, legitimately, I know we kind of say this every year because we're reactionary, right, to what's happening in front of us. But this year, man, all the quarterback injuries, Andrew Luck freaking retiring at 29, all this Antonio Brown stuff, the fact that everybody seems to be transitioning to this NBA thought process, which, I mean, I understand if you're a player. The NBA guys have a lot of control. But, what's going on with Jalen Ramsey, the Miami Dolphins, I've never seen an implosion like the Miami Dolphins as a team, like a week before the season. They're shipping off everybody. This first couple weeks of the season has been insane.
Yeah, yep, it has. Let's see, and look, I'm gonna, this is a fair point right here in 2019 right now. Look, I'm all for hating on AB. He's a clown. However, I refuse to just believe some random woman. Those texts don't prove anything other than he's accusing that woman of trying to extort him, and that is a fair point. Okay,
yep.
It's a completely fair point, and I 100% agree with that. And if anybody follows me over on Geeks and Gamers, you know my stance on this. However. Antonio Brown has had such a pattern of behavior to show that his ego is so out of control, that his respect for authority is out of control, that his respect for others is out of control. I would have, just based on this right now, it's kind of like what Dave Chappelle said in his special, about R. Kelly. I think he did. I can't look at Antonio Brown and give him the benefit of the doubt. I can't give him the benefit of the doubt at this point. I'm not saying he's guilty based on these accusations. I'm just saying that based on his pattern of behavior, based on what we have seen historically from this guy, these accusations aren't out of left field for me. What say you, Ryan?
No. And so if you want my personal opinion, I do believe that Antonio Brown did those things. However, I don't think he should be, he shouldn't be canceled, right, until we get some proof. However, if you look at the initial filing, the messages that are included in that between Antonio Brown and the person who initially accused him, if those are proven as real, there's some pretty salacious stuff that he specifically says he did to her. And now whether she was okay with it at the time because she was staying at his place or getting whatever, who knows? But I agree with you. We're all about not canceling people unless there's proof. However, I can't look at what he's done and look at the way he's acting and not make an assumption. And that's the assumption I'm making. However, innocent till proven guilty, absolutely. But obviously the Patriots think something's going on. And if the Patriots were giving up on you, especially after that week 1 performance, because I mean, it looked like him and Brady had been playing together for a few years already. You know what I mean? And that was only going to get more. That was going to be Randy Moss, Brady all over again. So if New England looked at this and said, this is too much for me, if Belichick, again,
love Belichick, hate Belichick, it doesn't matter. If Belichick makes a personnel decision that's going to affect his football team, then you know something is wrong. Something is wrong. Belichick will not let an asset go. He will not do it. So there's clearly a lot going on here that Kraft and Belichick saw. RC from NYC. What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Ryan? What's up, Sports Wars? Well, AB is now learning that karma always finds its way. Absolutely. I am a firm believer in karma. I don't know if you are, Ryan, but I am. I'm a firm believer in karma. And I would have to say, I mean, God, I've always hated Antonio Brown. I've always hated his guts. It was tough for me because when New England signed him, I'm like, God damn it, because obviously, I mean, I'm like, this could be 16-0. This could be a 16-0 season and a 19-0, and it still could be without him. It's not like they need him to win the championship.
Especially the way the AFC is looking with the Chargers so injured as they are, with the Steelers without Ben. The competitors are falling in the AFC right now with Andrew Luck retiring. That Colts team could have been pretty competitive. He was your dark horse for MVP. He retired. But there's a lot of stuff in chat going on right now. And, I hear what you guys are saying. A lot of people saying, hey, I think that this woman is, the money dried up and she's looking for more. And I totally understand that. And one of the things I said initially, so I think I put out the video when this accusation initially happened, was that she did not go to the police, right? She didn't go to the police when this supposedly happened. She filed a lawsuit and wanted money. That isn't necessarily what I feel like I would do if I were a victim. But, that's what she did. So you do have to take that into consiration, just like you guys are saying.
Tom King, think the Pats will go after Dez Bryant now that he's healthy. Is he healthy now?
I don't even remember who Dez Bryant is at this point, to be honest. I totally forgot he existed.
I really didn't even know that was even a thing in terms of him. Is he still trying to get back into the league? I didn't even know that.
I forgot about him.
I did not know that. By the way, if you're just joining, great crowd here for our small little channel, 143 watching. That's pretty awesome. Thank you for joining. We appreciate it. The Patriots have released Antonio Brown, and we have a screenshot of some potentially really disturbing text messages that reportedly Antonio Brown sent to his accuser, doxing pictures of her children and things like that. And don't know if it's accurate or not, but it's pretty crazy stuff. And so we're covering it here. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please smash the melee button, which is like the video, and share the video on social media. Let more people know about it. My name is Jeremy. I'm joined here by Ryan. And so there was a couple of questions. He's still looking for a team. Don't think he's healthy just yet. I don't think New England's probably going to go for another troubled wide receiver right now. I think they've got the team they need. Obviously, if there's an injury or something, then they may look into that. But I don't know anything about Dez Bryant at this point. I didn't plan on hearing that name for this entire year until you brought it up.
Yeah, well, and they just traded. As soon as they signed AB, they traded Demaryius Thomas, who they had signed, released, and then signed again in the offseason. So.
Yeah. Let's see. Look, man, you are AB. You let your lawyers and the Patriots look into the accusers, not your friends and associates. That was nuts. That's true. And again, this is all. I don't know if this has been confirmed. I'm assuming this regardless if this has been confirmed or not, I don't know if it's been confirmed. But reportedly, this is what has been reported, that he sent these threatening messages to the accuser. And if that's the case, that's just. Again, it's right on brand with Antonio Brown. You know what I mean? Like, all of this is right on brand with him. None of this is hard to believe. If you're telling me Tim Tebow did this, I'm gonna be like, you know what I mean? If you're telling me Teddy Bridgewater did this, I'm gonna be like, really? Because I don't see that. You tell me Antonio Brown does it, I'm gonna be like, that makes sense. That makes sense. He's an idiot. You know what I mean? So I just, it's wild, man. It's really wild.
Yeah, it really is absolute insanity. And, these, I guess we don't know if these have been validated or verified or anything, but these screenshots that you showed were given to the NFL by this other person's lawyer. and basically complaining about intimidation tactics being used by Antonio Brown.
Yeah, it's true. Jay Hamilton says, I'd rather have Julio Jones. I've always said that. I've always said it.
The most controversial thing Julio did was lose his $150,000 earrings when he was on his jet ski. So that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Man, what a wild story this has turned out to be. And let me refresh for let me go back to Schefter really quick.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got something else.
And let's see. Statement from Antonio Brown's agent, so Drew Rosenhaus. It's unfortunate things didn't work out with the Patriots, but Antonio is healthy and looking forward to his next opportunity in the NFL. He wants to play the game he loves, and he hopes to play for another team. This is the perfect gift right here.
Yeah. Antonio Brown, AB, how many teams you going to play with this year? Not one, not two, not three, not four.
Drew Rosenhaus. Yeah, Drew Rosenhaus doing Drew Rosenhaus stuff right there. Wow.
Now listen, the Patriots are an organization who has been through a lot of media firestorm stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not like they're abashed to dealing with this.
Hang on, look at you got the King Kong, ain't got nothing on me. Hang on. NFL can now conduct this investigation of Antonio Brown without any time pressure. It's hard to imagine another team would attempt to get in the way of that. So Brown's NFL career is on pause and possibly could be over. And then this is the perfect gift right here. King Kong ain't got nothing on me. All right, I did not mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
You're good. So what I was saying was they've been through Deflategate. They've been through that whole fight with Tom Brady. They've been through Robert Kraft getting handies in an Asian massage parlor, right? They have been through media firestorms and media blitzes. It is not like that this would be too much of a distraction for them, in my opinion. If they thought that they could get through it, they would have, because that talent. I have faith in the Patriots because of what they've been able to do. So for that to happen, that just tells me that something's coming down the pipe. Yeah,
here's Comrade Commodore Antonio to the Cowboys. Oh God, that would be right on message with the Cowboys. Hey, we're in great shape. We have a great season. Let's bring Antonio Brown. Nah, but I agree. No team is going to sign this dude this year. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. At least not for the first half of the year. I would say there's absolutely positively no chance that any team hires him for before December. Let's just say, because I believe that they need to get this investigation out of the way. I believe that there's do you think they're going to put him on the exempt list? Do you think that's going to happen?
Yes, I do think that's going to happen. I think that's probably why you saw this move by the Patriots, just getting out ahead of it. Mm-hmm. And so basically what the exempt list is the commissioner has the power to put a player on this list that says they cannot play. Even though we haven't officially punished them or anything yet, we have enough indications and data to say that we know we're going to punish this person, or we feel very confident that we will. So they put them on this list.
Yeah, let me look up NFL memes just to see what the hell they've got posting, because it's got to be good.
Oh yeah.
Let me see NFL memes. It's current quarterback situation. Damn, AB had a longer career as the Masked Singer than he did with the Patriots.
Oh man,
no memes yet. Of course, there we go. Here we go. I mean, that's just great. I know it's not Antonio Brown, but this guy's the most memeable guy ever. I love it.
His dad is awesome.
Let me pull off a screen share for a minute, and then I'm gonna run over to Facebook, and I want to see what NFL memes is posting over there, and see because they may have some more updated memes, because it's always good to see the memes just kind of flow.
Black Adam Schefter is always good for that too.
Yes, absolutely. All right, nothing pulling up right now. Why does Facebook suck?
I don't know. Because it's for old people. I don't know.
Yeah, I really, really, really do not like. I really don't like Facebook. anymore. Let me pull up Black Adam Schefter.
It's very boomer tier. Oh yeah, Black Adam Schefter, cry emojis at any Patriots fans who ordered Antonio Brown jerseys. Raider fans, you too.
Let's see. All right, let me do a screen share. Right, boom, boom, and this is perfect right here. When Antonio Brown gets fired on his day off twice in a month.
Damn.
Oh, that is so perfect. He did. He got fired twice on his day off in a month. That is a hell of an accomplishment right there. And let's see. Yeah, any Patriot fan who ordered an Antonio Brown jersey. Raiders fans, you too, are looking at you, Jack Raider.
I saw him in the chat earlier.
Yeah, we don't have any. Oh God! Oh, sweet chin music just for the hell of it. But that's it. Boom!
Ooh, that's everything to Antonio Brown's career right now. That is what's going on.
Let's see if Rosenhaus is. So Rosenhaus has just got this same tweet up. It's unfortunate things didn't work out with the Patriots, but Antonio is healthy and looking forward to his next opportunity in the NFL. He wants to play the game he loves, and he hopes to play for another team. Now, a lot of people say right here that this particular moment he got some CTE. How much?
Come on.
Yeah,
Stop it.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. This guy has been a nut job. I don't know what year this was. What year was that?
This was like that was Vontaze Burfict, right? When he was with the Bengals. So that was probably about like 4 years ago or something. And I will say, Antonio Brown at this point in his career, he was just taking off, right? So he wasn't the dominant year after year dude that he had been. He was taking off at this point. Mm-hmm. So it was before he really got that ego. Yeah. Which clearly the man has an ego. So
Antonio Brown strives to be the first NFL player to play for all 32 NFL teams in a single season. He's off to a good start. You got to give him credit for that. I'm just looking at some of these memes. It's not a whole lot yet. Mean machine. Yeah, so that's kind of the gist of it. Now we don't really have any more new information unless Schefter's sent anything out. Of course, if you blink, Adam Schefter sends more news out.
Yeah, I have his notification set on my phone, so I every time he tweets, I get the news, which is how I figured that Andrew Luck stuff out so quick.
Yeah, Ethan Johnson says, just when you thought you were safe from AB News. Well, and I agree with that, but I feel like we're at a point where the AB News might finally die down, because I don't think anybody's going to touch him. I think after this weekend, I think we're going to be pretty much dried up on the AB News. What do you think, Ryan?
We're still going to get it, right? But it's not going to matter to us as much because he's not going to be playing. Right. That's what I think. I did just see Adam Schefter tweeted that Browns tight end David Njoku is on injured reserve with that wrist injury. Right. So that's kind of big news for. I don't know what Biden's doing to Cam Newton, but he's always the top ones. All these memes are the top responses. It's awesome.
Oh man, and Cam is out this weekend too, right?
Cam's out. Yeah. The amount of quarterbacks that you didn't know who they were last year starting now, it's kind of crazy.
I know it is. It's pretty wild. So if you're just joining us now, Antonio Brown has been officially released by the New England Patriots. Patriot statement is the New England Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of many people over the past 11 days. Every time I read that, I want to say past 11 years because it's just like, it's ridiculous. This only happened 11 days ago. It feels like this has been going on for like 5 years, but anyway, past 11 days, but we feel that it's best. We feel that it is best to move in a different direction at this time. And then Schefter also says that now the NFL can conduct this investigation of Antonio Brown without any time pressure. It's hard to imagine any team would attempt to get in the way of that. So Brown's NFL career is on pause and possibly could be over. Drew Rosenhaus says, it's unfortunate things didn't work out with the Patriots, but Antonio is healthy and is looking forward to his next opportunity in the NFL. He wants to play the game he loves, and he hopes to play for another team. And then I know Black Adam Schefter. What was that? It was the Antonio Brown text.
Oh yeah.
So let me show these. Yeah. So right here, this is from earlier, new tonight. Antonio Brown sent our. Now this is why we think the New England Patriots finally stepped in and said that they're ready to get rid of him. New tonight. Antonio Brown sent our source from Monday's story a menacing group text, including a picture of her children with instructions for his associates to investigate her. Her lawyer wrote the NFL calling for the intimidation to stop. And this is it blown up. These are the messages right here from Antonio Brown, allegedly. Really sad you would make stuff up or make up BS story to the world. Thought you had more integrity and respect for yourself. Must be really hard times for you to make up some stuff for money. Super sad. This is the girl who unfinished my painting in my room from super broke girl with a lot of kids. Such shame. God damn, it's hard to read this shit, man. He's such an idiot. But like a lot of people said, if you're new to our company, our brand, we are from Geeks and Gamers, which is a much bigger YouTube channel that we're a part of, and geeksandgamers.com. And we generally, the people that are here, we are very much against cancel culture. We're very much against, the people that, accusation, you must be guilty. But it's hard to give Antonio Brown the benefit of the doubt. It's almost impossible to give him the benefit of the doubt. Of course, he deserves the benefit of the doubt because he deserves due process and he deserves to have his side told. But I think anybody that's paid attention to this guy for the last few years, I think most people are going to look at it and go, this guy's nuts. Corey says, do you think he'll get another shot? No, not this year. I do not believe he'll get one this year. If he gets one this year, I believe it'll be late in the year, around playoff push time, when there might be a desperate team out there that might need, someone to stretch the field. Maybe, but that's all dependent upon how much more serious this gets. As I said to Ryan earlier, I think when New England is ready to cut ties with you, there's some bad shit about to happen. What say you, Ryan?
Yep, we talked about it earlier, but completely agree. They've been through media firestorms unlike anybody else in the past 20 years, and they've stood up to it. Spygate, Deflategate, Craftgate, whatever you want to call that. They've stood up, they've stood behind their players when it was required. Obviously, Aaron Hernandez, they didn't have too much choice in the matter, but they've been through a lot, and for that talent, the talent that AB is, easily, one of the best receivers in the league, they would have stuck by him if they thought it was at all possible, and they didn't. That tells me he's soon going to get some news from the NFL that he's not allowed to play.
Yep, I think that's a very fair assessment of it, and I don't think that any team will. Okay, number one, even if he was eligible, I don't see any team touching him right now. Number two, as Ryan has pointed out multiple times, he's probably going to be put on the exempt list anyway, so it's not even going to be an option. I think the NFL has a responsibility at this point because they're all about the shield, protecting the shield. I think at this point, with all of the controversy surrounding him, I think they just absolutely are going to have to. They're going to have to put him on the exempt list. I think they need to protect themselves because if he gets signed to another team, it's just going to continue this media pressure. If you have more stories coming out like this, it's not a good look.
And that's a whole different topic. Just the way the NFL handles each and every situation differently, which I agree that all situations are different. However, there needs to be some consistency. When you punish for example, I'm sure you're familiar as a Patriots fan, Jeremy, with the punishment for Deflategate. A first-round draft pick, $1 million fine, 4-game suspension for Tom Brady, all of this crap. When in the same season you had the Chargers get caught putting Stickum on a ball on the sidelines, and the team got fined $17,000, which is very similar, affecting a grip on a football if you can even prove that Deflategate happened, which you can't. So the consistency with what the NFL is punishing people doesn't make any sense. When you see what they've done to Ezekiel Elliott with seemingly less information than we have coming out right now about Antonio Brown, I'm surprised they haven't done anything yet. So it's coming down.
It's coming down. It's so bad. It's such a bad look. I just, again, man, I'm looking back on all of the controversial stuff that we've seen in the NFL, and I mean, am I being a prisoner of the moment by just saying I don't remember something this messy?
Messy. Now listen, we had Michael Vick executing dogs and running, right. running this.
Well, I think the problem with it is that, and it's not the worst thing we've seen in terms of what has happened. I'm just saying in the fact that how it's played out, the drama's played out. Because once Michael Vick, the situation happened with Michael Vick, he didn't go to another team. You know what I mean? Like Antonio Brown's been on 3 teams in the past season.
In the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not 3 weeks, the past couple months. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, the two most historically successful franchises in the history of the NFL, in terms of Super Bowls. And then the Raiders, who are just a dumpster fire in terms of the PR and everything, with everything going, and Hard Knocks and John Gruden and everything. To me, chat, are we Ray Lewis possibly murdering someone? Yeah. I'm not saying that what Antonio Brown did is the worst thing I've seen an NFL player do. Not saying that. I'm just saying that how this is all played out with the drama from the Steelers, the fighting with Ben Roethlisberger, the shots from former teammates. You've got what's his name on ESPN, who clearly hates him. Former Ryan Clark hates Antonio Brown. We've seen all that. Then you have the situation with the Raiders. We have the potential confrontation with Mike Mayock, John Gruden looking like a pathetic beta male in the whole process. The racist things that Antonio Brown said, the feet, the helmet, all of that, cutting him from the team, and then him signing with the Patriots of all people, and then playing in the first game or their second game of the year, but playing and lighting it up in the first quarter and just going like that. To me was the Patriots saying, yeah, watch out. And now this, I just think this is crazy.
We've got a lot of good mentions. So we've got Ray Rice in there. We've got Adrian Peterson with what he went through. I did see Ray Lewis, of course, and Aaron Hernandez. There's definitely been some crazy stuff that went down, but I do agree with you. The manner at which it's played out and the multiple instances, right? This is much more like TO kind of drama. With someone just talking and being a distraction, than it is possibly being involved in someone's murder, or we see on video Ray Rice, hitting his wife or fiance, whatever she was at the time, in the face. And I will say about the Ray Rice thing, when all that came out and we heard Ray Rice, this happened, she spit on him, she pushed him, he punched her, she hit her head, and she was unconscious. That's what the report was. And he got suspended 2 games or whatever it was. And then the video comes out where she spits on him, she pushes him, he hits her, her head hits the thing. That's exactly what we heard it was. But then we saw the video and everybody freaked out.
Yep. This whole thing has just been incredibly fascinating to witness, to watch, to see it play out. And you want to say it's over, but again, is it really going to be over? Maybe the Browns will sign him, damn it. Could you imagine if the Browns signed him?
You can never say never, right? With that talent. That's the thing. Like if he's going to be, on the, if he's going to be able to play, if somehow he avoids exemption list or whatever, then somebody's going to take a chance with that talent. I would have to imagine.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with it too. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. There's a Star Wars for Life. Ruthie says Raiders rule. Not really, Ruthie. Not really. What is your record this year?
1-1.
1-1. It's all right. It's not as bad.
They beat Denver, and then they got smacked down by KC.
Yeah, I mean that's not. That's not. Saban will sign AB next week.
Yeah, maybe he's got a year of eligibility left or something somehow. Yeah.
That would be funny, actually. All right, I'm trying to. Oh, look. Okay, this is great right here. All right, I gotta play this. Let me do a screen share.
All right.
Right here. Antonio Brown gets cussed by the Patriots, drives to Mike Tomlin's house.
I can't hear it.
Oh, you can't? Okay.
No.
Well, that's the quote. I'm stupid. You're the best. I was wrong. You were right. What up, man?
Oh, look at
That boy is gone.
You're happy about this. You're happy.
You really happy though? No more. No. This is your last AB Clown World video that you got to.
Yeah,
post.
right. There's gonna be. Look, let me tell you something, guys. He's been released for a reason. Something's coming.
Let me introduce you. So we are joined by Uche Nwaneri, former Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman. Uche, you have been very vocal on this Antonio Brown situation as a former NFL player. So go ahead. Floor is yours, sir.
Well, guys, I hate to say I told you so, Pats fans. Jeremy. But are we really surprised that this happened? I mean, let's think about this for a second. Nike dropped him earlier today as a contracted athlete.
I think wasn't that yesterday, actually, or was that today?
I think that was today.
Okay. I know I got the notifications. So
if it was yesterday, it's irrelevant. The point is, Nike dropped him. The Pats release him. That means the NFL has told the Patriots something. That means the NFL had, being that they've already interviewed Brittany Taylor and they've already interviewed Antonio Brown, that means that there's a few scenarios that may play out here because they're trying to get ahead of this. There may be an investigation coming into the criminality of what he did with her. And because one of those two of those instances of alleged sexual assault and rape happened in Florida. And unlike the situation with the second accuser, where the Pennsylvania police came out and said that there's a statute of limitations that has already passed in regards to her allegations, Florida may not have that same statute, and there may be enough for them to start pursuing a criminal investigation, because that's the only way I can see the things playing out the way that they've played out, is that the NFL has actually alerted the Patriots that, hey, and Goodell and Kraft, they boys. So that something is about to hit the fan. And I think we all know what it is, because this is the only reason why. I mean, the Patriots signed him the same day he got released from Oakland. And
are they still Oakland? Are they still Oakland? Is it Las Vegas?
Yeah, they're still Oakland for this season.
That Vegas stadium ain't gonna be ready.
Yeah.
And on top of that, they didn't bother to release him when the first accusations were made, when the lawsuit was filed. The Patriots ignored it and kept going on about their business. The NFL has brought them some information that is going to cause a real strong distraction to that team, and that's why they released him. Otherwise, it's business as usual. And if you notice, today they said that Belichick cut his press conference short because of the questions regarding Antonio Clown. So that leads me to speculate that something really detrimental to him is about to hit the fan. So, we'll find out.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we said, right? Is that the Patriots are going to stand by him if they think he's talented. They've been through media firestorms and stuff like that before. They have to know that something real is coming down the line, and that's why they got out ahead of it.
Yeah,
so that's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Now, do you think he's going to? So, I mean, and obviously this is based on what we know at this point. If no smoking gun comes out, is he going to be put on the commissioner's exempt list if we don't get a smoking gun right now? Do you think they're going to allow another team to try to sign him in the middle of all of this, or do you think they're going to try to?
I think he may get suspended indefinitely. I think that's maybe that. I mean, because this was a big turn. This was a huge turn from what we've seen over the last week. The NFL has been quiet. Goodell has been quiet. They haven't said a word. So for these things to play out, the NFL is getting ready to make a statement, I'm sure. And it has to be something that now crosses into the legal realm. That's just my speculation, because these type of things, when these things happen in the NFL, when sudden things happen and they're, drastic movements, the NFL is always trying to get ahead of something to protect the shield. So they are going, get him out of the focus as it pertains to being within the media world of the NFL before it happens. That way, they don't have to deal with any kind of backlash, and they don't have to answer too many questions. And like I said, Goodell hasn't said a word over this whole time, from Oakland all the way through New England. So now, with this happening abruptly, there has to be something that's about to drop. There's got to be a bomb that's about to drop hard.
It's going to be interesting to watch. Again, did you ever have any interactions with Antonio Brown?
No. We played against them when I was in Jacksonville. We played against the Steelers like 4 or 5 times, and I never had any interactions with them. Generally, players who are on offense don't really know the players on the other team on offense unless you played with them or something. But right. We generally, are more on first name basis with the defensive players. So I never had any kind of interactions with them. No.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I was just telling Ryan, Star Wars for Life, just super chat. Whatever, geek man, Raiders rule. At least I have a team. That is right, and we all love that. We respect that. We are totally on board with that. So yeah, what I was telling Ryan is, I was like, I'm not saying that based on what we know right now, this is the worst thing we've seen a player do in the NFL. I'm just saying that the drama that is played out and how it's played out across from the Steelers, one of the most storied franchises in NFL history, all the way to New England, one of the most storied franchises in NFL history. Mike Tomlin, who's considered, I'd say, one of the maybe 5, 6, 7 best coaches in the NFL. He's respected, and Mike Tomlin looking better every day at this point with all the stuff we keep hearing about AB. And I'm not really the biggest Tomlin fan, but he's looking good every day now. The drama with Ben Roethlisberger and his former teammates from Ryan Clark on ESPN. Then we go into the Oakland stuff and the things that he said to Mike Mayock, the Gruden stuff, the drama, the feet, the helmet, and then cutting him. And then seemingly because it just seemed like he was just a nuisance to the team. And then New England picks him up. And then as soon as New England signs him, then we get all these allegations rolling out. Yeah. I don't know if I've seen anything quite like this by one player. This is wild.
Now, to be fair,
that's 100% correct.
And to be fair, I know you were all over the paperwork initially that night it got filed, Uche. You did a live stream. This stuff was filed months ago. It was just kind of happenstance that it all kind of came out right as he signed with the Patriots. It was filed 9 months ago, right?
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is that the Patriots weren't made aware of it by Antonio Brown or his agent or his lawyers. They never mentioned it. They didn't mention it to the Raiders. They didn't mention it to the Steelers. They didn't mention it to the Patriots. So it was really, the prerogative of the lawyer for Brittany Taylor that it, finally be released and finally be put out in the public hemisphere. But, I don't think that was so much. I think, maybe there was a little strategy in that. But at the same time, she could have released that at any time during his stint with Oakland to just completely blow up the circus that was going there. So, like I said, man, in Florida, it's a different way. Every state has their own statutes of limitations. Every state has their own way of going through an investigation. And when a lawsuit is filed like this, and there are allegations of criminality, they don't necessarily have to have her press charges. They can take the information they have. Look, the guy admitted to relieving himself on her back in text messages. That in and of itself could trigger law enforcement to get involved immediately. And they don't need her consent to do that. They can go ahead and do that on their own accord. And maybe that's what's about to drop. A couple instances in Miami, the law may have allowed it to play out if it was just one incident and not the rape accusation. But with that rape accusation hanging out there, eventually you had to imagine that they would at least look into it. And then seeing the text messages, if they're able to verify the authenticity of those text messages, then they absolutely probably started moving forward on an investigation. Mm-hmm. So, this is going to be, this is far from over. This is definitely going to we're going to find out more information in the coming hours, coming days, coming weeks. But he's the most unemployable player in the NFL right now, even more so than Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Even more so than Cap.
I know. At least Cap still got his Nike contract, right?
Real. Cap got paid by Nike and he got paid by the NFL. So, and then even on top of that, he's still able to be signed by a team. And even though they're staying away from him, if there was a choice between Antonio Brown or Kaepernick right now, and they told an NFL team you have to choose, they're going to choose Kaepernick. And that's the difference.
Look at this real quick. Or go ahead, Ryan, then we'll go.
Just real quick, I did get some information. David, the Super Terran on Twitter, said that basically information got put out that from the NFL standpoint, the investigation is going to continue, and that a player has to be on a team to be placed on the commissioner's exempt list. Yeah. That's what he's saying. So can you confirm that, Uche? Is that true?
Yeah. If he's not signed, if he's a free agent, it's, then it's of no consequence for the NFL. They can suspend him. Right. If they deem, that's the necessary next step. But the exemption list is only if you're on a team. So it basically puts you on paid leave. But in his situation, for everything to drop with his endorsement and with his, with him being released, dude, it's got to be something big coming up. There has to be something big coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so right here, we've got Antonio Brown's timeline since training camp. July, placed on non-football injury list, frostbite on feet from cryotherapy. August, missed the Raiders training camp practices due to helmet grievances. September 4th, posted fines for missing practice, had confrontation with GM Mike Mayock. September 7th, released from the Raiders after an Instagram post asking for his release. September 9th, signed with the Patriots. September 10th, good Lord, September 10th, former trainer accuses Brown of sexual assault. September 16th, Sports Illustrated article reports second incident involving sexual misconduct. September 20th, Brown reportedly sends threatening text messages to second accuser. Today, released by the Patriots. What a disaster.
I mean, can you believe it?
Yikes, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever seen a timeline like this for any player in the NFL in its history.
And this is not even bringing in the Steelers drama.
Yeah.
This ain't even talking about the Steelers drama.
The Steelers did an outstanding job. I mean, I'll give them credit. The Steelers, they did an amazing job to keep many of the things that they say that people don't even know about under wraps, And
Mike Tomlin's looking a lot better.
Oh yeah, he's looking like a genius. Like he was able to play the game and get as much out of this guy as he could. And when they shipped him off, they knew what no other team going to be able to handle this. And just to say one thing, you notice if you read the ESPN article, he released he himself posted his thanks to the Patriots before they even announced that he was released. How much of a attention fiend is this guy? I mean, there's no end to the way that he goes after the limelight and the way he likes to be put out in front of everything to bring as much attention to himself as possible. It's unbelievable, guys.
It is. This is wild, man. Well, I'm blown away by all this. The drama is just off the charts. And Neo Unrealist or Unlist, where is it at? Where'd it go? Unrealist says greatest season ever for a wideout. It's been a hell of a one.
This is unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm like, my head was spinning. I mean, when I saw he was released, I was like, because I kind of thought to myself, Nike dropped him. That's odd. And then I saw that, Belichick, skipped out on the press conference. And I was like, well, Belichick does that from time to time when he's annoyed with the media. Mm-hmm. But this just hit. And I was telling myself, I'm going to wait until something bigger happens before I make another video on him, because now this is kind of becoming so normal with antics from him. Yeah. Even after they talked about the intimidating text messages he sent to the second accuser, which it's like, dude, I mean, did your lawyers not say don't talk to any of them? period? Like, what are you doing?
I know, man. What a nut job.
I think he's dealing with CTE, dude. I'll be honest. I think he's
you think so?
CTE. I think so.
You think that's we talked about that because I don't buy that, but obviously you know more about this than me. But like, I don't buy the fact that it's had such a quick effect on it because this guy's been an egomaniac like the whole time he's been in the NFL, but he really took the next level when he became the stud of the NFL. You know,
he took it to a whole new level, dude.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, well, one of the prevalent symptoms of CTE is an uncontrollable impulsive behavior. And a lot of the things that he did leading up to his release in Oakland, and with the text messages he sent, to the second accuser, and the way he went after the first accuser in those text messages, those are impulsive behaviors. Those are very like spur of the moment. You know, even more off his emotion than even Jalen Ramsey. I mean, this is. I mean, there's got to be some of that into it because the science of it says that does play along those lines. You look at Aaron Hernandez. A lot of players said this guy would be quick to just snap off and just say whatever and kind of go berserk if you just nudged him the wrong way just a little bit. I mean, look, he shot like what 5-10 people. I mean, come on.
But I wouldn't. But he was doing that. He was doing that kind of stuff as soon as he was at Florida. So I mean,
look, there are players with CTE in high school. There are players with CTE in college. There are players with CTE, going all the way back. Like,
but my issue is, have they ever
saying that you have to kind of? I mean, that starts to come up in my thought process.
Uche, are there any NFL players who have donated, allowed their families have allowed them to look at their brains that they have not found CTE?
Well, okay, so there's kind of two parts to this. There has been one study over the course of the last, I think, 6 or 7 years of a player who they were able to actually diagnose with it as he was alive. But other than that, they haven't been able to diagnose it until after player dies. And the New York Times dropped a bombshell article a year or two ago. I think it was like a year ago. I mean, you probably know about this, Jeremy. A huge article from New York Times, 100 brains from every position on the football field of players who have passed away. 99% had CTE. The only one that didn't have CTE, a kicker.
Yeah, and so that's kind of my thing with the whole CTE is that it seems like literally everyone has it. So, I guess
it affects players on a varying degree. Some players, you may have it. There may be, you can, and they can tell by the, I guess the protein that begins to accumulate in the brain, and the brain itself in the frontal lobe area starts to kind of hollow out. And just kind of it just shrivels. The brain just shrivels and becomes very very thinned out. And it affects different players differently. You look at some players. You look at a player like Joe Namath. You look at a player like Troy Aikman. They don't seem to be exhibiting any clear cut symptoms that we can see. But there are a lot of players from the linebacker positions, from the defensive line positions, from some offensive linemen that it's like, dude, 2 years after they've retired, these guys are going crazy. Look at LaRon McClain, fullback from the Ravens. This guy is having like episodes. He's publicly on Twitter, like it's like almost a documentation every day. If I keep up with his tweets. Just to try and send him some support. I send him tweets of support like, hey, dude, keep trying to keep him positive and trying to, just show him that there's people out there who are listening. And if you read his tweets, he's battling it. He is battling it. He says it openly that he's trying to like keep himself together. And this guy has not been out of the league. I think we came out of the league the same year. I mean, even myself, I've had, I've noticed changes in my personality that I could look at and say, that's kind of CTE. and it usually comes with shorter temper, usually comes with constant irritability. And when you're able to recognize it, you're able to kind of how do I put it? You're able to more control it, at least for that, in that moment, like you're able to kind of treat yourself, kind of talk yourself down from the just relax. It's not that serious. You don't need to be pissed off for 4 days about losing a Madden game.
That's why I was being Mario Kart. So no, I do think that there's no doubt. I'm not disputing the CTE, and obviously you're far more educated on that subject as me. But in isolation, Antonio Brown, I just think the dude's an arrogant douchebag. I just do. I mean,
I don't take away from what his issues are, just strictly him as a person. And I don't use CTE to say, oh, well, this is why this is happening. Because I don't think that it can't have progressed that quickly in a wide receiver, one who doesn't get hit. So he doesn't take that. I haven't really seen him take vicious hits like that. And I haven't really seen him take that many hits, at all when it comes to, catching the ball and running. He's usually catching it on his way to the end zone. So, but it's there. It's there. It has to be. But
hang tight for just a minute, Uche. Ryan is going to have to bounce. So, Ryan, you want to say your goodbyes real quick? Because I know you got to bounce.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on. It was good to come in here and talk about this breaking news. Seems like something every day with Antonio Brown. Uche, that conversation kind of reminded me. I actually was in studio with Nick Hardwick today on the radio.
Right. That's my boy. We both went through.
Exactly. And right now he is actually taking part in some brain studies and things like that surrounding CTE. Yeah. And I told him I thought it'd be really interesting if maybe you could reach out to him and maybe we could talk to him on here about something sometime, because that'd be a really interesting conversation, something different for the channel, man. And obviously you guys are bros. So
yeah, for sure. Another player that I would love to bring on, Eben Britton. Eben Britton's been doing, I dropped a bunch of videos on my YouTube channel. Me and him had about a 2.5 hour conversation yesterday. And we went through everything from post-football career and we touched on CTE as well. And I'm sure he would be more than happy to come on Sports Wars and talk about that as well. So definitely something that needs to be covered. Definitely something that needs to be covered, because, a lot of players are dealing with it kind of in the shadows, but they're also willing to talk about it because it makes you actually feel better to talk about it.
Yep. Well, Ryan, that's good. Good stuff, man. So I'm sure we can get you involved. So go subscribe to our RK Outpost, Ryan's channel. Ryan, appreciate everything, buddy, and we'll talk soon, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Have a good one, guys. See you.
Sir.
Yeah, man. So, Uche. So, if you're just joining us, we've got over 200 people watching, so that's great for our small little channel here. So, we're happy that you've joined us. I am joined by former Jacksonville Jaguars offensive lineman Uche Nwaneri. And if you are new to the channel, please feel free to subscribe. We've got a lot of good content coming your way in the future. We're covering the breaking news of Antonio Brown releasing. This is something that Uche has been screaming about since the moment that his beloved New England Patriots signed. But yeah, and let me get Comrade Commodore Super Chat real quick. This is a good one too. What's the timetable on when we will see an interview with AB in the front lawn doing his bench press? Man, I miss T.O.
I mean, can you imagine though? Look at it. We used to think that T.O. doing a workout in his driveway talking to the media was just out of this world ridiculous.
I know.
And now that seems like, players should actually do that every now and again in the offseason just to kind of keep their name out there. But wow, dude, unbelievable.
It is. It's true. I mean, if you look back on T.O., and I was never I didn't hate T.O. I wasn't the biggest fan of T.O. I respected his greatness. I never wanted him on my team or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, you look back at T.O. and he was just viewed as this just incredibly ridiculous, player that nobody could deal with and handle. And now you're looking at Antonio Brown and you're like, T.O. don't sound so bad right now,
T.O. the most controversial, the most team dividing player in NFL history, Antonio Brown. hold my beer.
Hold my beer. Yeah. So if you are just joining us, let's go back and show some of the statements really quick here from Adam Schefter. Boom, boom. I like that meme right there. Fuck AB, Raider fans, Steeler fans. All right, Patriots.
That's off the Predator movie. What's his name?
Carl Weathers. Patriots statement. The New England Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of the many people over the last 11 days, but we feel that it's best to move in a different direction.
Hold on. It says, we appreciate the hard work of many people. They're not even saying him. They're just like, yeah, we appreciate the work of everybody who played on our team over the last 11 days. But
yeah, they kicked him to the curb quick. And then Schefter says now the NFL can conduct its investigation of Antonio Brown without any time pressure. It's hard to imagine any team would attempt to get in the way of that. So Brown's NFL career is on pause and possibly could be over.
Absolutely.
And then Drew Rosenhaus in classic Drew Rosenhaus fashion. It's unfortunate things didn't work out with the Patriots, but Antonio is healthy and is looking forward to his next opportunity in the NFL. He wants to play the game he loves, and he hopes to play for another team soon.
Dude, nobody's coming near that guy with a 20-foot pole. They won't. He's untouchable right now.
I know it. And then for those of you that are asking, so really the only thing we have to go on right now is that we've heard is that this right here, this is Antonio Brown sent our source from Monday's story menacing group text messages, including a picture of her children with instructions for his associates to investigate her, which is just a next level of stupidity. My God, her lawyer wrote the
right. He sent that.
Yeah, that's reportedly, allegedly. Her lawyer wrote the NFL calling for the intimidation to stop. Now, here's the messages, and it's hard to read this shit, and it sounds like it came from Antonio Brown. Really sad you would make up bullshit story to the world. Thought you had more integrity and respect for yourself. Must be really hard times for you to make some stuff up for money. Super sad. This the girl who unfinished my painting in my room. From blank super broke girl with a lot of kids. It's such a shame. This is her text. Eric B. Let's look up her background history. See how broke this girl is from basically cried broke for opportunities. I let paint my room. Couldn't finish. I flew out. Now to hear this is sad. Yes, sir. We will do that. You send me her info, bro. Those are her kids. And her Instagram, Eric, she's awfully broke, clearly. According to the post, she was going to meet Meek Mill at a rally. I can reach out to his team tomorrow and see if anyone knows her. She sounds like a celebrity groupie. Now let's be clear, and we talked about this a little bit, Uche, before you came on. You know, we do live in the 2019 cancel culture of believe all women, regardless if there's any, whatever. And I am very much against that mentality of believe women because a woman accuses. But Antonio Brown doesn't really have a lot of I have trouble giving him benefit of the doubt at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying he should be found guilty based on his history. I'm just saying that based on his history, based on everything we've seen from this dude, these accusations do not seem that far-fetched for me. He still deserves his day in court. He still deserves to be heard. And there still needs to be an investigation by the proper authorities, not Antonio Brown's boys. Absolutely. So what do you think? What do you think about that, Uche?
Well, look, man. Okay, so I read that Sports Illustrated article, top to bottom. I mean, outside of that particular allegations that she made, and if you read what she actually says in the article, she doesn't seem like she's looking for attention from it. To be honest, it looked more reading into it and kind of trying to understand what the context of what she was saying was. She said, I get hit on by guys all the time. I played it cool because whatever. Basically, she didn't really want to come forward with the info, but in lieu, obviously, of the situation with the other woman, with Brittany Taylor, she talked about it and it seemed more as something she talked about as an afterthought, and she kind of blew it. She blew it off, even though as inappropriate as she claims it was, she blew it off and did not let it bother her and just kept on about her business. And then he disappeared on her in terms of allowing her to finish the work she was doing. And you look, and if you move that out of the center of this discussion and look at everything else in that article, this guy's on a rampage. You know how much money he owes? Like a lot of people that have worked for him. Like,
and speaking of that right there, look at this. This was just retweeted by Schefter. Antonio Brown likely forfeits $9 million signing bonus from Patriots because of contract clause calling for players to disclose situations preventing availability per league source. This could lead to a grievance, but source says that money is gone. Brown was due $5 million on Monday.
Oh my God. You couldn't keep your mouth shut for a few more days.
He's such an idiot, man. He's an idiot. This dude is an idiot.
Look, I saw one comment by somebody saying, Ronald Krikorian, he says, when he kills himself, will all of you still be laughing? Is anybody, have you seen Long Beach, what is the comedian YouTube channel, Long Beach Griffey?
Oh, yeah, Long Beach Griffey's great.
Motherfucker, kill yourself! You should die! Here, I give you a gun because you have got to be the dumbest mother in the world. You have forfeited your life. Kill yourself.
Ain't nobody feeling bad for AB. I'm sorry. Ain't nobody feeling bad for this dude.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for somebody who he brings it on himself. I mean, you know what? The best thing that we can hope for is that they released him because of what he did with those text messages. That's the best thing we can hope for.
Just heard some sound. Man, give me just a second. I'm gonna turn my camera off, see what that was. Can you hold down for just a second?
Yeah.
Hang on just a minute. You can keep bitching about Antonio Brown.
Everybody in the chat, guys, look, I played 8 years in the NFL. And I've seen, characters from all different walks of life. I've seen characters who have, I've seen guys, I know guys who have beat women. I know guys who have robbed people. I've known guys who have done all kinds of outlandish things, who've been arrested with, 20, 30 guns on them. But at the end of the day, a lot of the self-preservation is usually the order of the day for those guys when they know that they've screwed up and they've gone too far. This guy has no sense of self-preservation. He only wants attention. And so if you're going to be the boy who cried wolf, then we're just going to stop. We're not going to believe anything you say. And this guy has put himself out there in a way that not only shows us just how selfish he is, but it also shows us his total lack of respect for the people who employ him, for his teammates, and for the synergy and the harmony that a team needs to be able to operate at the level that they need to operate at to win a championship. And the Patriots of all teams, as much as I hate to freaking say this, the Patriots of all teams know when they need to move on. And like I said, they got information and they have gotten enough knowledge to make a calculated decision to move on for him, because what happens next? Because what if he gets, what if they have to put him on the commissioner's exempt list and he's with the Patriots? What kind of distractions can he create through social media, through continued intimidation of, alleged intimidation of this woman and his first accuser? Those are things that can become a cloud over the Patriots organization that in time can affect the product that you'll see on the field. Maybe not in the players themselves, but in the coaching, in the demeanor of a guy like Bill Belichick. I mean, look, Bill Belichick got rid of him because Bill Belichick did not want to have to deal with the circus, because he knows that's going to take him off his balance, because he wants to talk football. He wants to focus on football. When he has to, continuously hear about Antonio Brown when he already has the NFL, probably contacting the front office of the Patriots on a daily basis over the past, week, at least, to kind of keep them updated on what the situation is as far as their investigation goes. And now knowing that investigation has probably got to go much deeper and is going to last much longer. No, Belichick's not going to do that. He's not going to, for 1 second, put that guy's put the convenience of having a player like him on the team when you don't even need him. Tom Brady could do it with high school receivers if he really has to. He doesn't need anybody like Antonio Brown. Yep. So, I can respect and applaud that move on their part, because I know that organization, regardless of how we feel about them, they are a completely top-class organization, and they do things a certain way, and that is it. And anything that threatens that will be eliminated. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, Stephanie T said what's going to happen to his money, and we just talked about that. So from Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, it says Antonio Brown likely forfeits $9 million signing bonus from Patriots because of a contract clause calling for players to disclose situations preventing availability per league source. This could lead to a grievance, but source says that money is gone. Brown was due $5 million on Monday. This dude is an idiot. This dude is an idiot. It's unbelievable how dumb he is.
I mean, his agent, his lawyers, nobody's telling him, hey, just go radio silent. Talk football, do it the Patriot way, and go radio silent on everything else. Let us handle all of the things that are coming from the outside world. I mean, when you can't even hold yourself to that, I mean, what good are you to the team?
Yeah. John Matrix says, do you guys think Belichick cut Brown after Belichick cut his press interview short because he was sick of the questions about Brown? Well, I don't think Belichick operates on that level. I mean, he doesn't do knee-jerk, and that would be a knee-jerk reaction. Belichick does not knee-jerk react. Everything Belichick does is methodical and calculated. And so I think that Belichick probably already knew what was going to happen. And so he already knew that they were going to cut Brown. And I think that's why he cut the press conference short in terms of the Brown questions. He's like, I'm not wasting my time on this dude because I'm about to cut him anyway because we just had a bomb dropped on us. That's my take. What do you think, Uche?
Yeah, no, I agree. This organization does things in the best interest of the organization, and that if there are two people in that building who know every morsel of information that comes through about the team, about his players, and about, to be specific, Antonio Brown, Bill Belichick, and Rob Kraft. That they know everything. That he knows everything, that he sees everything that's coming, and he analyzes and reacts accordingly. And, you have a situation where a player goes behind the team and communicates with media and his friends about somebody who's made an accusation against him, wanting to put it out there to the public. That in and of itself is cause for him to be fired. But also the league, you have to look at the league. Like I said before, we haven't heard anything from Roger Goodell in months about this cat. Nothing. So that there's information that's been exchanged from the league to the Patriots, and they made a calculated decision that they knew they needed to make it now because it's Friday, which means maybe Monday something is coming, and they want to be ahead of that because they have a game on Sunday, or is it Sunday they play, or is it Monday? Okay, Sunday they have a game.
I know it's the Jets. I think it's Sunday.
Be that as it may, they got a game coming up in 48 hours, and they don't want the talk after that game to be breaking news. Antonio Brown is indicted or Antonio Brown is suspended or something like that, because that's just another distraction. It's too early in the season for that nonsense. So, that's what they do. The Patriots made a decision, and it was, the right one. Now you have Josh Gordon. This guy, we haven't seen yet if he's able to get back to that level of elite talent that he had when he left the Browns because of his suspensions. But I would not be surprised. This is an opportunity for him to reclaim that number one position.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would be number 2, which is New York Fan 86. I mean, because Edelman's gonna. I think, like, if you look at how the offense was done last week, like Edelman kind of got
number one over Josh Gordon.
Yeah. In terms of Brady's focus, because of the trust factor, because of the reliability factor, Josh Gordon's going to be there to stretch the field, to open it up for those home run balls. But I think Edelman's still going to be the number one receiver in terms of he's going to get anywhere from 8 to 12 catches a game. You know, those little short out routes that are going to be 8 to 10 yards every time. And that's just Brady's, comfort zone, especially with Gronk not being there. I think Edelman's definitely going to be his go-to guy with the chemistry they have. And I think Brady and Josh Gordon definitely have developed some chemistry, but they've got to work on establishing that more. But I believe Gordon is there to stretch the field. Plus, Brady is, as much as I know you don't like him, I know you respect him, but Brady is smart. Brady is not going to build his trust and his offense with him and Josh Gordon.
Because he's not going to put all his eggs in one basket. He
right. But I mean, even so with Gordon, because we don't even know if Josh Gordon's going to be here in 2 months. We don't know if it's going to be here next week. We don't know if it's going to be here next month. You know what I mean? Like, because of what we see. I mean, last year, when he got, after he, stepped away, like, he was playing pretty damn good with the Patriots at that point. I was shocked. I was like, holy shit, he's gone. So he was playing really well. But Edelman's going to be the guy, unless something happens with Edelman. But last week with Brown, Edelman kind of got pushed to the back, and that was different, because I was like, well, you've got Gordon, you've got Brown. They obviously want to put focus on Brown, and Edelman was kind of the odd man out. So losing Brown doesn't hurt at all. And in all honesty, I believe the Patriots are better without Antonio Brown. That's what I think.
Yeah, I can agree with that, just simply because the receivers on the Patriots are usually receivers by committee. Like, everybody gets a piece of the action from Tom Brady. If you're open, you get it. He has his favorites. He has the guys he can lean on, like Julian Edelman, when if he's not comfortable with any other receiver, he knows that he has his safety valve right there. Just like he knew he had a safety valve in Gronk. And to his credit, Tom Brady has proven time and time again that, big receiver, small receiver, big tight end, small tight end, huge star power or not, he can make the most out of what he has on the field. And the receiver so much doesn't matter as much as his ability to keep defenses off balance by his ability to spread the ball around to anybody who has hands. So I don't think that this hurts. I mean, obviously it doesn't hurt the Patriots to lose him. It doesn't hurt them at all. It's just one less, ridiculous weapon that they have.
Yeah, they're not quite as deep. So, like, for instance, if Edelman did get an injury, or if Josh Gordon got an injury, Brown gives them a deeper, receiving core. But you can't sit there and you can't game plan in fear of injuries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt them on how they're presently constructed at all.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt the dynamic of their team at all. And even if they were, I saw a short article earlier today about Antonio Brown doing things the Patriots way, and players saying that he's doing it the way that the Patriots do it. And I don't think that was a surprise, but at the same time, when you look at the text message situation that just happened, I mean, that is not the Patriot way. Patriot players don't get involved with the media outside of the designated times to be involved with the media. And he did that behind their back. And he throws his tweet out there before they can even announce he's been released. Like, the guy is just, it's tragic, dude. It's tragic. It's ridiculous. It's tragic. It's irritating. It's annoying, all in one package. But it's also, it's just self-destruction. Yeah. Simple and point blank. It's just self-destruction.
Yep, that's true. So John Matrix says it's addition by subtraction. Releasing Brown is Brown. Okay. I'm off to see Rambo now to make the woke media cry more. That's what's up, John. That's what's up. So good to hear from you, buddy. Somebody was in there. Where is it at? I'm trying to find it. Somebody said, trying to find it. Where'd the comment go? Somebody
side note, it's Friday and Jalen Ramsey hasn't been traded. I don't think they're going to trade him, dude.
You don't think so?
I don't think they will, because look at what I mean. Apparently, they have something in Minshew. Minshew? Is that his fucking name? The quarterback?
Yeah, I don't even know. He's like a porn.
Gardner Minshew. Yeah,
porn star is what I call him. So no, there was somebody said we don't know what we're talking about, and I can't find the comment. I don't know if it got caught up in spam.
Let's see.
They said we don't know what we're talking about because losing Antonio Brown is going to hurt the Patriots. Well, I guess Belichick doesn't know what he's doing either, because Belichick would have never signed Antonio Brown if he thought it would hurt his team if he then had to let him go. This was a win-win for the Patriots. This does not affect the Patriots in any capacity whatsoever. This was only going to help them with it was a what's the word I want to say? It was a risk that didn't have any negative effects on them if it didn't pay off.
Well, they lost a little bit of money, but also, I mean, it's not a loss when you save $5 million. I mean, again, man, I mean, I can only shake my head because it's unbelievable that a guy who is given the opportunity to be on the Patriots squad, the way that he got on it, which was in and of itself, crazy to most people that they would do it, but they did it. Somebody said Khan offered Ramsey more money to stay. Did they give him a contract extension?
I haven't heard about that yet.
It's crazy. This is one thing real quick about the Jaguars. The Jaguars probably have one of the most player-friendly, player-centric owners in the NFL. Shad Khan is an immaculate owner. I've sat in the room with this guy face to face, and he's told me a story. He's a Big Ten guy. He went to Illinois, but this guy is about making the players comfortable. He's about giving the players every resource imaginable to be a winning franchise. So with this whole Jalen Ramsey situation, I know just from personally being, having a number of conversations with Shad Khan, I know that it's not Khan who the issue is with. It's not what he's trying to do. It's more than likely Tom Coughlin. Tom Coughlin tried to bring that mentality he had with the Jags as their first head coach. He tried to bring that back to Jacksonville when Jacksonville didn't need that mentality. They needed the mentality he had when he was winning Super Bowls with the Giants, which was a bit more of a player-centric attitude. Because, again, came up to him, had a one-on-one talk with him, and told him, look, these players ain't going for that. All that rough and tough, and you're going to weed out guys just because you want things your way. No, that's not going to work. That's not how this team operates, and you need to loosen up a little bit or you're going to lose everybody in this locker room in a heartbeat. That's the kind of Tom Coughlin, the one that won they won back-to-back Super Bowls, right?
Not back-to-back, no.
But they won 2 in 3 years.
Yeah. Was it 2 and 3? No, it wasn't 2 and 3 years. So they won in 2007. So they beat the Patriots, and then it was 2011, I think. So it's a couple years apart.
But he got 2 Super Bowls with them. They need that Tom Coughlin, the one who you could tell he had more fun as a coach when he was in New York. I could see it. The guy actually would laugh and would high-five players. I mean, but, Jalen Ramsey is a fire plug. He's a spark. He's the emotional heart of that defense. And he's a player who can be almost close to being a loose cannon because of his inability to filter how he talks, which, I mean, we can respect that because, we speak how we feel. Mm-hmm. And so does he. And Tom Coughlin, he just comes from an era where that's unacceptable. And you have to toe that politically correct football line. Political correctness in football is something that controls a lot of players' behaviors as well, because there is that kind of etiquette within the football team that's, a microcosm of what we're seeing in society. You can't come out and scrutinize a play, what a coach called, how a team's being run, because now you're stepping out of bounds and you're almost being relatable to the fans, because a lot of fans will be like, why are y'all doing that? And when a player comes out and reiterates that, now coaches feel slighted and coaches feel disrespected, betrayed, this and that. But it's not about disrespecting or betraying you. It's about putting out there what the players really feel, but are too scared to say because they don't want to be caught, not being politically correct in how they approach their opinions about the team. So Jalen Ramsey, to a degree, is empowering the players to stop being so politically correct and start talking about how you really feel the team is doing. Because we're not going to destroy the chemistry of the team by being honest. You don't throw guys under the bus, but you don't sit there and just act like, oh, well, we got to do some more practice. We got to do some. No, this motherfucker needs to start calling more man defense because that's how we got to the point where we were in the AFC title game, fighting to go to the Super Bowl. And I can respect that. Now, how he deals with coaches on the sideline, and he's even come out and said it. That shit's over with. He never had a problem with Doug Marrone. But again, when you come out and you speak about what you feel and how you feel an organization is treating you, they look at that and instantly they're plotting on how they can get you out of there. And he did shed a little light on that he was being disrespected by Tom Coughlin. He didn't say his name, but that's who he's talking about.
It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Stelios 300 Cowboys says Belichick don't play and had enough, world-class coach, bar none. Well, I think it's a little more than that, though. Again, my opinion, and I think Uche shares the opinion. I just think that there's new information that was brought to Belichick and Kraft, and I think they looked at it and said this is not going to be anything we can deal with.
Yeah, this is going to be too much.
Right. And there was a comment from I had it highlighted there for a few minutes. Let me see if I can find it again. Basically, it was like, well, if the Patriots are better with Antonio Brown, then losing him is definitely going to hurt them. And I said, no, and that's not how I look at it. Like, I'm trying to find the comment so I can highlight it. There it is right here. Okay, so if him being there helps them, then not being there hurts them. That's logic. Yes, they're still great. They're not worse than they were before. Now, again, if that's how you're looking at it, but what I said is I believe that they're not necessarily better with Brown as much as they're deeper with Brown, because I believe they're better with Edelman being the focus for Brady and then Josh Gordon being the guy that stretches the field. Yeah. And then that's just going to open up the entire field for everybody else. And if Brown and it seemed like they wanted Brown to kind of be the vocal point, the number one receiver, and how they treated him last week. So with that, if Brown is the number one, then I guess him and Josh Gordon will kind of stretch the field, which is fine. But with the trust factor that Brady has with Edelman, Edelman is, and again, a lot of it has to do with
Edelman is the new Gronk. He's the new Gronk.
Exactly. But Edelman's got like the second most passing or receiving yards in playoff history. Now, a lot of that has to do with he just played more games. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to catch Jerry Rice, but the point is that that's Brady's guy. Like that's his guy. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Driving mayhem. Patrick Mahomes is the best QB in the league currently, period. He is elite level.
He's elite. I don't even know if I want to call him elite yet. I mean,
based on what we've seen, he is. The dude threw 50-something touchdowns.
No, absolutely. I just need to see a little. Like, look, man, based on last year,
season's young,
and then 2 years, I'm two games in. I get it. If you want to tell me that if I'm having to base it off last year and the first 2 games of this year, then he's an elite quarterback. But elite quarterback to me, you got to be like a little more tried and tested. The only elite quarterbacks I consider in the NFL. All right. And again, one of them is going to be injured that I mentioned, but Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers. Those are the only 3 elite quarterbers because I truly believe elite is elite.
I would argue Phillip Rivers.
I couldn't put him there. He's never even been to a Super Bowl.
But not by his own fault. That dude performed in all of those games when they were in the playoffs, fighting through an AFC that was so stacked with good defenses. And with the Patriots squad that was in the middle of, they were on like number 3 or 4 at that time. Like Phillip Rivers has the incredibly bad luck of being an elite level quarterback playing on a highly talented team through his career that had to continuously run into teams like the Patriots, teams like the Jets when they had Rex Ryan head coaching in that 1 year where they set the league on fire with their defense. And he had the unfortunate bad luck of having a defense that, while they were good and highly talented, did not perform in the highest of pressure situations. That was evident, going back to, the game they played against. Who was it that they played against? Was that the Patriots? The 4th and 1, where Antonio Cromartie just shriveled in the hole against the Patriots running back on that 4th down that would have given them the ball back.
I'm trying to remember. I was spacing out on your conversation. I was reading the chat, so I wasn't following your conversation. You're good. I was just reading everything people saying. Go ahead, though.
But when you talk about elite level, these are guys who, if they were not, these are guys. When I think of an elite level player, I think of that as a player. I think of that player as someone who, if they're ever, I think of them as a player who usually is never going to be allowed to be a free agent. And Phillip Rivers, for as long as he's been in the league, has been on one team. Tom Brady, one team. Drew Brees, really, really one team. Yeah. He was with San Diego, but everybody knew that his clock was ticking just because of the simple fact that they drafted Phillip Rivers.
He was good, though. He was good in San Diego.
He played at a high level. Drew Brees, one team. Aaron Rodgers, one team. These are guys who will never be allowed to look at other teams. They're signed with 2 years left in their contract to a longer extension. Just like Brady. It seems like Brady's had 5 or 6 extensions, like staggered every 2 years. He gets another 3-4 year extension. Those are elite level players because they are the backbone of the franchise. But
the Driving Mayhem's like, sorry guys, but some of the players are elite right from the start. That is absolutely not true. Mahomes is one of those guys. Now I'll concede we will have to see
talent. He's elite talent.
Yes, he says now I will concede we will have to see how his longevity is. So far, he has not regressed. He's gotten better. Again, that's fine. But I mean, look at RG3's first year. Okay, before he got injured, everybody was saying, and he was a former Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, I never believed in RG3, by the way, but
I didn't either. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it for 1 second.
Cam Newton, first 2 games over 400 yards passing, coming off that all-time great college career. That Ron Jaworski's like, Cam Newton's going to be the greatest player of all time.
I didn't believe it.
Yeah, even when Cam had his MVP season, everybody was jumping all over Cam being the greatest thing ever, and I'm like. Look, Cam is a rare talent. He's a physical specimen that we've probably never seen at the quarterback position. Yeah. He has incredible gifts that I don't know if anybody's actually had. But up here, he's not there. He's not there. He's not an elite level quarterback. Now again, that's not to say Patrick Mahomes doesn't have everything, because he does. Patrick Mahomes has it all. It's hard for me to say this because I really don't like hyperbole. But he may be more talented than Aaron Rodgers. And I've said Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Not the best. He's the most talented. Mahomes might be more talented than Aaron Rodgers, which speaks volumes to Mahomes' greatness. But just because you're the most talented doesn't make you the best. Yeah. I need to see more from Mahomes. And at the end of the day, Mahomes threw for 50 touchdowns. Okay? He was the MVP. And he lost to a 41-year-old Tom Brady in the playoffs.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that is correct. Mahomes had a one-on-one with Tom Brady, and everybody knew that who cares about what Kansas City's defense looked like? They knew that if there's one team that can go in that can have a shootout with anybody, with any team in the NFL, they knew that it was Kansas City because of Mahomes and because of the talent they have with Tyreek Hill. And their tight end, what's his name?
Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey. I mean, these are guys. He had the most talented offense that we've probably seen in the NFL in the last decade. And he lost that shootout. And, yeah, they didn't get the ball. They didn't get a chance to go on the field in overtime. But, hey, if you score 2 more touchdowns, like they did on, remember what was that, a Sunday night or a Monday night game where they literally, it was like the most points scored in a game in NFL.
Oh, that was a fantastic game too. And by the way, so Fuller says Mahomes losing to Brady is not shade for Mahomes.
Oh,
100%.
not. Yeah, it's not shade on him at all.
It's not.
He just lost that matchup. He lost that shootout.
Yeah,
so
but
it doesn't take away from his ability or his talent.
Right, and that was a crazy game. That I believe it was a Monday Night Football game. I'm pretty sure it was Monday Night Football when it was, and that's a game that I think we're always going to remember. Rams. Yeah. But I do think that Mahomes is the future of the league. I do. I just need to see a little more, and I need to see him in those moments. Like right now, I don't care what your opinion of Tom Brady is. I don't care what anybody thinks about Tom Brady. What you know is that when the game is on the line, that man is going to show up and he's going to beat you every single time.
Bet against him.
Never gonna. He will kill you. You don't know that about Aaron Rodgers. Now, yeah, you've got the Hail Marys, but that's Hail Marys. Like when it comes down to 2 minutes to go and Aaron Rodgers gets the ball, you think that, okay, this guy's probably can do it, but you don't have that same fear that you have when Tom Brady has the ball. You know what I mean? And that's
Aaron Rodgers, last drive of the game to win it, 10 games out of 10 games, eight games out of 10, I'll say Aaron Rodgers can get that done. If you give him the ball really anywhere on the field, I'll give him 8 out of 10 times. If you do the same thing with Mahomes, I'll say 7 out of 10 times. You do it with Tom Brady, 10 out of 10 times, unless there is an event that happens out of his control. Tom Brady, I'll give it to him. I mean, dude, I knew that game in Atlanta, that Super Bowl was over with Atlanta. I knew that game was over the moment they got within 10 points. I was like, oh, if Brady gets the ball one time, it's over. Even when they went into overtime, I said it doesn't even matter if the Falcons get the ball. Falcons can get the ball first. The Patriots defense is okay. So the Patriots defense during the course of the season is usually lower half of the top tier of defenses. But when them boys get in the playoffs, for some reason, they just shut teams down. The things that teams do well in the playoffs against the Patriots, they can't do them. And I see it year after year. I would see that, like, dang, the Patriots defense does not play in the playoffs. Them boys come out and shut down whatever team they go against. And if it's to give Brady an opportunity, their defense always usually steps up to give him one shot. And Brady will jam that mug down people's throats regardless. And that's just the kind of player that he has become.
And Driving Mayhem says, I'm going to agree to disagree. Tom is the GOAT, but his time is coming to an end soon. Do you know that people have been saying that for like 10 years now?
We said that 5 years ago.
Remember when Kansas City beat New England like in week 2, and that was what? How many years ago was that? That was like 7 years ago. And that was it. That was the end of the Patriots dynasty. Since then, they've won 2, 3 Super Bowls. Brady's won a couple MVPs. Again, yes, clearly. One of these days, Max Kellerman is going to be right, okay? One of these days, Rob Parker is going to be right. One of these days, they're going to be like, I told you. And Rob Parker's been doing this shit for like 10 years now. Parker's been –
It's crazy, man. I agree. Like, look, come on, man. Us players, we will secretly be like, what this mom? Come on, beat him. But we know deep down, unless he gets hurt, or unless something happens like a fumble that's from a receiver or an off. I mean, dude, can you think of it? Can you think of any times in the clutch he's thrown an interception?
Maybe a couple,
maybe a few and far in between. But I can call a number of times when Peyton Manning threw a pick that was. I mean, look at the game against the Saints in the Super Bowl against the Saints when he got the ball to take them to win that game. I mean, hell, on the second play, he threw a pick. Pick 6, game over. Brady don't do that, dude. And it's frustrating when you're on the opposite side of it, but you got to respect it because the dude just knows where he wants to go, and he knows that defenses don't blitz him. They won't blitz him because you won't get to him before he gets the ball out. So they sit in their zones, and he just shreds zones apart. Zone defense is the worst thing you can run against the Patriots. because he will shred. But then you really can't even run man, because that means you got to have basically your number one receiver, your number one cornerback, your number two cornerback. You got to pick how you're going to die. Are you going to try and cover the outside, or are you going to try and cover the slot? Because whoever's covering the slot is going to get shredded. Linebacker, nickelback, it don't matter. And that's what makes it so difficult when you're playing them, is that he doesn't need his 1 or 2, because he has a 3, a 4, and a running back to check down to when all else fails. And they're always guys who are too fast for the linebackers to cover or too big for the linebackers to cover. Like the Jags in the AFC title game, they tried. Luckily he went out with a concussion, because they were trying to cover him with DBs just for the speed, just to get the speed. And they were bracketing him over the top of the DB and trying to play underneath him with the linebacker. Well, now you got your slot on the other side of the field who's going to be wide open. So had he not gone out in that game, it may not have been the same kind of game that it was with Jacksonville.
It's one of them things, man. We're probably going to wrap this up soon, because I got some stuff I got to get to. It's going pretty long. So to wrap it up, obviously, Antonio Brown has been released by the New England Patriots. I'm looking at Schefter's Twitter. Nothing new has been reported. So basically, to recap one last time, the Patriot statement, the New England Patriots are releasing Antonio Brown. We appreciate the hard work of the many people over the past 11 days, but we feel that it's best to move on, or move in a different direction at this time. And Drew Rosenhaus says it's unfortunate things didn't work out for the Patriots, but Antonio is healthy and is looking forward to his next opportunity in the NFL. He wants to play the game he loves and hopes to play for another team soon. That ain't happening. That ain't happening at all. So we're gonna wrap this up. Uche, if obviously you're from the Observant Lineman, former NFL football player, so you want to plug your channel real quick?
Just like and subscribe to the Observant Lineman. Really, just look up my name. My name is my channel. The Observant Lineman is just the name of my show, but Uche Nwaneri is actually the name of the channel. I got some new videos up there right now. Me and Evan Britton, a former teammate, he's also co-host on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. That podcast they have every day. That's really been a big show that's caught on. But I have a 5-part series of me and him talking about life after football, life during football, and things that we're into now. So subscribe to my channel and keep up with what's going on.
Good stuff, man. And thanks for everybody that tuned in. We had about 350 viewers at one point in time. That's the most live viewers we've ever had here on the channel. We've only live streamed a couple times, but that's a really good number. We appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to Sports Wars, subscribe to the Observant Lineman. And if you aren't familiar with Geeks and Gamers, you can go over there and subscribe to our main channel, Geeks and Gamers. Ruthie sends a super chat. Where did the term GOAT come from? When you talk about players. GOAT is greatest of all time. So it's just an abbreviated version of that. I don't know when I first became familiar with that. I think Jordan obviously was the first person we probably labeled the GOAT, because he was always called the greatest of all time. And it seems like Tom Brady has kind of taken that, in the
football world.
So,
kind of become his term.
Yeah, so that's where it's at right there. So, thanks for everybody that tuned in again. We love talking shit. We love the back and forth. That's just what we're here to do, and we've got a lot of new things and cool things in store for you at Sports Wars in the near future. So, thanks for the support for Uche, for Ryan who joined us earlier, for everybody in the chat, all the mods, and for Antonio Brown. You kiss my ass, you egotistical bastard. And you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you later.
Peace.
Now it's that 5 second that takes a few minutes.